Hi there, Malcolm here with a rather late Booktube video, and today we're bringing you my July wrap-up and August TBR. Going all over in one go. In what feels like a very long time ago now, I read Firefly, The Magnificent Nine by James Lovegrove, and this is book 2 of the Firefly book series. I've already done a review of that, so I'll leave a link to that below if you want to know what I thought of this one. And after I finished it, I then moved on to Quantum Leap Double or Nothing by C.J. Henderson. Based off the TV series of the same name, it follows time-travelling quantum jumper Sam Beckett as he leaps from person to person through history, fixing something wrong in their life. In this one, there's a very peculiar twist in that he finds himself in identical twins. One's nice, one's not so nice. And in each case, Sam takes on the key traits of that particular twin. So one is angry, selfish, and self-centred, and the other one is nothing but good. And because of this peculiarity, Al Calavici and the rest of the team back in the future can't find him. So leaving both Sams to try and work out what's going on without any outside help. Really enjoyed this one. I love the unique aspect of it. Been a good series so far, but I like this one the best at the moment. Buy it. I then read a whole bunch of the X-Files Junior readers. So we have X Marks the Spot by Les Martin, the novelisation of the pilot episode. Darkness Falls by Les Martin, novelisation of the episode of the same name. Tiger Tiger by Les Martin, novelisation of Fearful Symmetry. Squeeze by Ellen Steiber, novelisation of Squeeze. Humbug by Les Martin, novelisation of the episode. Shapes by Ellen Steiber, novelisation. Fear by Les Martin, novelisation of the episode called Blood. And Voltage by Easton Royce, novelisation of DPO. Now, these are quick and easy to read with a little over 100 pages a book, so I managed 8, which I figured was quite good going. These are straight up the episode in book form. There's no elaborations in this, there's nothing further to be added to the show by reading these. As a younger reader, you'll probably be able to read this before you can actually be allowed to watch it. But they read just like watching the episode, so you might as well watch the episode perhaps. If you like the episode, you're going to like the book. If you didn't like an episode, the book's not going to change your mind. A lot of fun, worth reading. But, you know, if you can't watch the episode instead. I also got through that lot. I then read Red Wolf, Martin the Warrior by Brian Jacks. This, I believe, is the 5th book in the series and chronologically the earliest book so far. I think there are some that go earlier still. So in this one, the Red Wolf residents learn about their great benefactor and hero, Martin the Warrior, long dead a couple of generations ago now, who, as a young slave to an evil stoat, has adventures. Full of anthropomorphic animals, generally found in the British woodlands. These books are a lot of fun, where each animal has its own manner of speaking and culture, full of really cute pictures heading each chapter, which kind of belie the pretty gruesome and gritty nature of the story. There's a couple of scenes which, if they were to be on screen, you would think, wow, that's a bit much. In this one, the story flows quite nicely. There's not too much going on. I quite enjoyed the previous book, Salamandastron, because of its various story avenues it went down. This one I think was a bit more straightforward, but still really enjoyable because of it. But don't read these books when you're hungry. It goes on and on and on about food and lists all the different types of delicious things that they're eating. Buy it. After that, I then read Star Wars Legacy Alliance. The next few comics from my favourite Star Wars series of all time. I can't tell you too much about this one because I'll give away spoilers for what happened in the previous volumes. But lots of exciting stuff's going on. A lot of the characters you saw introduced in previous volumes have turned up again. And it's all coming to a head, everything's coming together. And lines are being drawn in the dirt and on the page. Booktastic. And after that, it was down to the beach, where we did lots of beach reading. Or not as much as I thought I did. Managed 2 books on the beach for week 1. The first one was Humans Bow Down by James Patterson and Emily Raymond. This is James Patterson's attempt at YA. And in this one, it's a near-future dystopian type story where artificial intelligence has taken over the planet. Humanoid robots live in the society that humans had already made, and humans are left to live in slums or servitude. And of course, there's going to be a hero who's going to try and stop things and change things. As a story, it was okay. I did enjoy it. But a lot of the tropes that you expect to see in such a thing featured. There are no real surprises. The twist you saw coming a mile away. The book is interspersed with pictures. I'm not quite sure why. There just seem to be random scenes that don't add nothing to what's going on. But there was obviously some need to visualise some scenes for some reason. I say the ending was as expected. No real surprises, but I did enjoy reading it. worth reading. And after that, I finally got around to reading The Four Legendary Kingdoms by Matthew Riley. This is book 4 in the Jack West Jr. series. And in this one, Jack West Jr., who's decided to kick back and relax after the excitement of the last 3 books, is kidnapped and finds himself embroiled in a new adventure, or rather some sort of gladiatorial games with a difference. A very different book from the previous 3 in the series, where the various unbelievable crazy things that came up in the previous 3 books have been all taken as rote and are elaborated upon on this one, but making it a very silly premise, to be honest. But the action's there and it's full on and intense and exciting, as you would expect from a Matthew Riley book. You can't really read a Matthew Riley book and come away going, oh, that was a bit boring. You can say it's stupid, you can say it's nonsensical, you can say it's completely ridiculous, you can say it's utter trash, and I do agree with most of that. Highly enjoyable though. I don't want to diss this book. I love Matthew Riley's books. They are just full of high-octane rubbish. And you need to know that going into them. They're complete garbage. Not a guilty pleasure. I don't feel guilty about these. But believability-wise, just completely forget it. If you liked the Jack West Jr. series so far, you might find this one's a little gone to the left field, as it were. If you enjoyed his first book, Contest, though it is a little analogous to that. It even says the tagline on the front here, 16 contestants, but only one will survive. So very much Contest. And in the fun little Q&A section at the back, there is the comparison addressed there as well. There's also a surprising extra character in here. I'm not going to give it away who, but that was really awesome. Buy it, if you like that sort of thing. So there we go, 14 books read, and a pretty enjoyable lot as well. So, August TBR. Now, for the second week of the beach, I had planned to read, and as this is now the middle of August, I will have already read some of these, but so first up is my book of the month, Cold Book by Tim Lebon. Going into this, I had no idea what it's about, but there's some sort of disease spreading across Earth, and there's a fight against that. God, I really must try and avoid these contagion-type stories. It's too real to today's world as is. But once I read this big bad boy of 632 pages, I'll then move on to Hovercar Racer by Matthew Riley, a book that's been on my shelf for a little while now, and Matthew Riley's attempt at YA. And in this one, it's a near future thing where anti-gravity has been invented, and of course one of the things that can be implemented with it are hovercars and the racing of. This follows Jason Chaser as he goes on various racing tournaments and adventures. So curious to know how Matthew Riley addresses a YA approach. Spoiler, I've already read them, but After that, I'll then read, or finish reading, Star Wars Before the Storm, Part 1 of the Black Fleet Crisis Trilogy by Michael P. Kuby McDowell. This I took away on holiday for the view of reading the entire trilogy during the evenings. I kind of made it a third of the way through the first book. So I'm going to continue reading this one and finish it. I won't bother with the rest of the trilogy until it comes up again in my natural reading cycle, but I want to get this one done. And when I do, I can then revert back to my normal reading pile, starting with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Xander Years Part 1, or Volume 1, by Keith R. A. DiCandido. Didn't quite have enough days in last month to read it, so I'm going to try and read it this month. And if I do, I'll then read StarCraft Ghost Spectres by Nate Kenyon. There'll be links to the StarCraft 2 game, so looking forward to that. And if there's time, I'll then move on to Hero by Michael Grant, the final book of the Gone series and the third book of the sequel trilogy, or at least the final book so far. Really eager to read that one. I'll also try and read some more of my Star Wars Legacy comics. I didn't take them away on holiday because I didn't want to get them damaged. But I did take the X-Files Volumes 1, 2 and 3 and got about a quarter of the way through Volume 1. Didn't get much reading done at the house. So I want to continue with these. These are short stories in the X-Files universe. I'm still reading The Walking Dead, The Road to Woodbury by Robert Kirkman and Jay Bonansinga while I'm boiling the kettle. To my wife, I'm still reading A Blight of Blackwing by Kevin Hearn. And to my kids, I'm still reading Safari Adventure by Willard Price and The Last Sky Pirate by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddle. Not much of that has happened over the last couple of weeks either. So there we go. That's what I have read and what I'm planning to read and reading. I hope that video wasn't too long. Do you have a specific set of books that you like to take on holiday? Or do you just take your normal lot and just try and get through those as you would normally? I'd love to know, so please let your comments go down below. And as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you, and until next time, see you later.